Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to be continuing our study of the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, and we're on chapter 51, text number 57, and we're continuing with the prayers of King Muchukunda. And this is called the Deliverance of Muchukunda. And then after this, since it won't be a purport, we'll be reading again from the commentaries by the different acharyas. And those have been compiled. Either Dayavir or Srila Gurudev would be able to give you access to those. But they're very, very helpful to be able to look at the different purports from different angles of vision. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Govijana Vallabha Girivarit Hari Govijana Vallabha Girivarit Hari Yasodanandana Prajajanaranjana Yasodanandana Prajajanaranjana Yamuna Tira Panachari Yamuna Tira Panachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Gopijana Vallabha Girivarit Hari Yasodanandana Prajajanaranjana Yamuna Tira Manachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jayam Vishnu Paramahamsa Bhavakacharya Astotara Satoshi Shima, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jayam Vishnu Paramahamsa Bhavakacharya Astotara Satoshi Shima, His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindi ki Jai. Namacharya Sudas Thakur ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindi ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan ki Jai. Vrindavanadam ki Jai. Mathuradam ki Jai. Mayapur Dham ki Jai. Navadvip Dham ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham ki Jai. Yamuna Mai ki Jai. Ganga Mai ki Jai. Shrimati Tulasi Devi ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrindi ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ishwar, can you get me a songbook also? And also that table when you have a minute. Thank you. So we're beginning now. Chiram Iha Vijanartas Tapayamano Nutapayar. Chiram Iha Vijanartas Tapayamano Nutapayar. Avitra Sad Amitro Labha Shanti Katanchit Avitra Sad Amita Labja Shantin Kadachit. Sharana Da Samupadas Twat Parambajam Paratamam Sharanam Das Samputas Tat Parambajam Paratamam. Abhayam Ritam Ashokam pahi mapanam isha abhayamritam ashokam pahi mapanam isha Shiram iya vijnatas tapyamano nupater Avitsasad amito labda shantai kantanchit Sharanada samputetas twat padabhajam pataman Abhayamritam ashokam pahi mapanam isha Devotees, Ram iya vijnatas tapyamano nupater Avishtisaramrito labda shanti katachit Sharanam dasamitas tat parabhajam paratman Abhayamritam ashokam pahi mapanam iha Vaishnavis, Chirami Avicanatas Tapyamano Nupatir Ayamritam Ashokam Pari Mapanam Isha. Word for word. Chiram, for a long time. Iha, in this world. Vigna, by disturbances. Artaha, distressed. Tapyamanaha, tormented. Anutpathai, with remorse. Avitsha, unsatiated. Sat, 6. Amitraha, whose enemies? The 5 senses and the mind. Alabda, not attaining. Shanti, peace. Kantachit, by such means. Sharana, of shelter. Da, O bestower. Samupetaha, who have approached. Twat, your. Para ambajam, lotus feet. Para atma, O Supreme Soul. Abhayam, fearless. Ritam, the truth. Ashokam, free from sorrow. Pahi, please protect Ma, me, Apanam, who are confronted with dangers. Isha, oh Lord. When I was just reading this now, it reminded me of when the Uttara had Pariksha within the womb, and then the weapon was being sent to destroy the baby within the womb. And then she was crying out to Krishna, please protect me. And Krishna protected Pariksha within the womb of his mother. For so long, I have been pained by troubles in this world and have been burning with lamentation. My 6 enemies are never satiated, and I could find no peace. Therefore, O giver of shelter, O Supreme Lord, please protect me. O Lord, in the midst of danger, I have by good fortune approached your lotus feet, which are the truth, and which thus make one fearless and free of sorrow. Somehow or other, we always get a verse which is very appropriate. So for me this is, and we can repeat this together. For so long I've been pained by troubles in this world and have been burning with lamentation. My enemies are never satiated, and I can find no peace. Therefore, O giver of shelter, O Supreme Soul, please protect me. O Lord, in the midst of danger, I have by good fortune approached your lotus feet, which are the truth and which make one fearless and free of sorrow. So there's no purport, and we're going to read the commentaries, but after offering our respects, I'll just bring up some points just from reading this, and then I'll go on to the commentaries. Om Gena Timirandasya Gena Gena Shalakaya Chaksu Militanyana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master, unto my Shiksha Guru, unto Srila Prabhupada, and unto all the assembled Vaishnavis and Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the previous acharyas and unto the great devotees that have so kindly walked in this world to guide us how to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Shrimati Hridayananda Goswami Iti Namane. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashchitade Shatarine. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gauranke Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Prananami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Trubastaki Vasindhavya Vachapatitanam Pavanevya Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane. So here we find ourselves just looking at this translation, and before even going into the purports, there's so much here. For so long I've been pained by troubles in this world and been burning with lamentation. So when we see the word lamentation, lamentation can be either coming from the mode of ignorance, and when there's material lamentation from the mode of ignorance, then the result is more ignorance. that one is in the mode of passion. One tries to enjoy the different senses. Here it's speaking about my enemies. So the enemies are not outside of us. The enemies are actually within us. Our own desire to enjoy within this world. Lust, anger, greed. There's a whole series of them. And our suffering comes from the mind. Yesterday's verse went into deep detail about overcoming the dualities, actually. We suffer in this material world because we see duality. And we know we have the philosophy, Achinta Beta Beta Tattva, simultaneously one and different. But at the same time, if we turn to the Supreme Lord, then we are no longer under the stringent laws of the material nature, being thrashed around like being on a boat in the ocean when there's a big storm coming. Or not even a boat, just like a little raft. But as soon as we take shelter of the Lord will give us, he'll give us protection. So there's a difference between material lamentation and spiritual lamentation. Spiritual lamentation comes from when we realize that I have wasted my life. Instead of worshiping you, Lord Hari, I have spent my life searching after those things in this world which are very, very temporary, which cannot bring happiness. So one has to actually know where to turn. So material lamentation brings ignorance and more ignorance. It arises from ignorance. And spiritual lamentation brings one to the lotus feet of the Lord. Like here, every day we're singing the Gurvastaka by Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. Material existence is a blazing forest fire, but the spiritual master delivers the afflicted people by raining down a cloud of mercy from the ocean of auspicious qualities. I offer obeisances to my spiritual master's lotus feet. So here we see that Lord Krishna himself is directly coming to Muchakunda, and he's taking shelter of him. But we might not have Krishna directly come in a form that we can see. So he manifests in the form of the deity for us to take shelter of and to surrender and to serve. And he also comes from within the heart as a Chaitya Guru in order to instruct us how to become free from this suffering. So the spiritual lamentation is actually very helpful because one realizes that they want to overcome these anarthas or unwanted qualities. So throughout the different songs that we sing by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Narottam Das Thakur, it helps us to develop that mood. So here in the prayer, O Vaishnava Thakur, it says, O Venerable Vaishnava, O Ocean of Mercy, be merciful unto your servant. Give me the shade of your lotus feet and purify me. I hold on to your lotus feet. Teach me, excuse me. Somehow Tulsi knew I was going to have problems speaking. She asked me about water. Teach me to control my 6 passions, rectify my 6th fault. Bestow upon me the 6 qualities and offer unto me the 6 kinds of holy association. I do not find the strength to carry on alone the Sankirtan of the holy name of Hari. Please bless me by giving me just 1 drop of faith with which to obtain the great treasure of the holy name of Krishna. Krishna is yours. You have the power to give him to me. I am simply running behind you, shouting, everyone together, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So this is a mood of devotee like the mood of Muchakunda. I have no other shelter but you, Krishna. I've been suffering in this material world, trying to make my own arrangements, coming up with my own schemes and plans, and somehow or other, like slipping on a banana peel in the middle of it all, you know. So here we see there he's turning to Krishna. Krishna, please give me shelter. But when a devotee turns to Krishna for shelter, they're not wanting anything material. Like Dhruva Maharaj, he got the kingdom he wanted, but then he realized, I didn't want that. I was going after broken glass. I just want you. So a devotee of the Lord, they don't really want anything else. They just want that Supreme Lord and service to him. They just want service to Krishna. And that's why you see devotees engaged in service, because when they're engaged in service, they're coming directly in contact with Krishna. So that's what gives them happiness. And the more they serve, then the more service comes. You know, the more you chant, the more service comes. So anyway, I just wanted to go to the commentaries, but those are just some very important points to me, that here he's praying, oh, giver of shelter, O Supreme Soul, please protect me. O Lord, in the midst of danger, I have by good fortune approached your lotus feet, which are the truth, and which thus make one fearless and free of sorrow. So it is by good fortune. Like there's a book which is the autobiography of Gaur Govinda Maharaj, and it's called When Good Fortune Arises. It's a beautiful book. So when good fortune arises, we come in contact with a pure devotee of the Lord. And by that association, then we start becoming free from this entanglement of the material world, by that good association. And a devotee, when they get that good association, then they want to give others the opportunity to have the good association. So I'm going to go on now and read the commentaries. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who always does these wonderful conversations, like his commentaries are so sweet because he always makes it very personal. First, you can enjoy all objects worthy of enjoyment, and then I will give you service to my feet. So that's Krishna speaking. Fearing such enticement from Krishna, Mukunda offers this prayer. Being afflicted by miseries in the conflict with Indra's enemies, desiring victory, burning with repentance, such as, for so many days, I have not worshipped the Lord, with no cessation for the desire for enjoyment of the six senses of eye, ear, nose, tongue, and skin and mind, I do not get peace either by my own intelligence or knowledge given by others. If enjoyment is given by you yourself, even then I will become entangled. That is the nature of enjoyment. Therefore, do not give me that enjoyment. O Paratma, who resides in everyone, who therefore knows everything, I've taken your lotus feet. In material treasure, there is fear of sickness and enemies, etc. In the heavenly treasure, there is impermanence. In the treasure of Brahman, one is cheated of service to your lotus feet. But the treasure of your feet are without fear, abhayam, without impermanence, nirtam, and without lamentation, ashokam. Therefore protect me, whom afflicted with calamity. Protect me at your lotus feet. So these six senses, he's saying, they've caused nothing but misery. And he saw in this material world, he had a kingdom, he had a big family, he had to leave them because the demigods wanted him to fight. And then he saw that the demigods, they're not free from suffering because they had to keep engaging him thousands of years at a time because they were afraid that somebody else was going to take over the kingdom. So they're always in anxiety there. And then who wants to merge into the Brahman? There's no action, there's nothing going on, there's no fun, you know. So it's not like a place you want to stay too long. So he's just like, there's just no shelter. The only shelter is you. And Prabhupada, we know his name was Abhaya, like free from fear. Prabhupada was certainly Abhaya. Like, who else gets on a steamship in their 70s, and comes to America? Who else was willing to, like, stay in the place of Dr. Mishra where he had no running water, not his own bathroom, not a proper place to even rest? It was horrific, actually, that Dr. Mishra gave him such facility. I was thinking, if I saw that Dr. Mishra, I would really yell at him. You fool, you could have served this beautiful Vaishnava. But Prabhupada didn't care. He was just concerned with whoever came there, trying to attract them to Krishna. So here we see that Krishna Chakravarti Thakur is bringing out that point that Muchukund has reached that point. I don't want it. I don't want any of these things because I don't want to be allured by any of these things. So before I read Jiva Goswami's commentary and Sanatana's, I just wanted to go back in the Srimad Bhagavatam, because as soon as I read this, it immediately brought to my forefront, and I was like this morning reading and feeling so much enlivenment from Queen Kunti. Like, one of my favorite books, if you haven't read it, is the compilation of the teachings of Queen Kunti. Such beautiful prayers and such beautiful commentaries by Srila Prabhupada. Vipadashantu tas sasvat tatra tacha jagad bhavato darshanam yat shayat apurna bhava darshanam. So this is from actually Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.25. I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths. So they had so many calamities happen to them. But Krishna was always coming to save them. In fact, it was said that Queen Kunti was more fortunate than Devaki. Devaki was considered the mother of Krishna in Mathura. But Krishna came, he was there, took the form of a baby, and then was taken to Yasoda Mai in Braj. But Kunti, again and again and again, Krishna, being her nephew, again and again, he was coming and saving the Pandavas. For the Pandavas were very, very dear to Krishna. So Prabhupada says, generally, the distressed, the needy, the intelligent, and the acquisitive who have performed some pious activities worship or begin to worship the Lord. Others who are thriving on misdeeds only, regardless of status, cannot approach the Supreme due to being misled by the illusory energy. So it's those 6 enemies that mislead one by the illusory energy. Therefore, for a pious person, if there is some calamity, there is no other alternative than to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. So when there's a calamity, one is forced to take shelter of the Lord. Constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord means preparing for liberation from birth and death. Therefore, even though there are so-called calamities, they are welcome because they give us an opportunity to remember the Lord, which means liberation. So when we go through some difficulty, is how we apply it. We know, all right, I know I'm going through difficulty now. So I could either obsess over the difficulty, meditate over the difficulty, and it's like a snowball effect. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it's like, I can't take it anymore. This is too much. Or we can turn to Krishna and say, oh, Krishna, whatever you're giving me, this is just a token. It's just a token of what I deserve. I don't know how many lifetimes I've had. I don't know what I've done in this life. But you were so kind that you're giving me the opportunity to remember you and to engage in service. So then a devotee becomes more enthusiastic for hearing and chanting and remembering and meditating on the Lord, hearing his pastimes, associating with devotees, and very patiently and tolerates the different pushings and pullings. One who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are accepted as the most suitable boat for crossing the ocean of nescience, can achieve liberation as easily as one leaps over the holes made by the hooves of the calf. Such persons are meant to reside in the abode of the Lord, and they have nothing to do with a place where there is danger in every step. This material world is certified by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita as a dangerous place full of calamities. Less intelligent persons prepare plans to adjust those calamities without knowing that the nature of this place is to be full of calamities. They have no information of the abode of the Lord, which is full of bliss and without trace of calamity. So the abode of the Lord is very blissful. So do we have to wait till we leave our body to go to the abode of the Lord? No, we can actually be absorbed internally, engage in devotional service, and we can experience that happiness, that bliss. The duty of the sane person, therefore, is to be undisturbed by worldly calamities, which are sure to happen in all circumstances. Suffering all sorts of unavoidable misfortunes, one should make progress in spiritual realization, because that is a mission of human life. The spirit soul is transcendental to all material calamities, therefore the so-called calamities are false. A man may see a tiger swallowing him in a dream, and he may cry for this calamity. Actually, there is no tiger, and there is no suffering. It is simply a case of dreams. In the same way, all calamities of life are said to be dreams. If someone is lucky enough to get in contact with the Lord by devotional service, it is all gain. Contact with the Lord by any one of the 9 devotional service is always a forward step on the path going home back to Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada he's so magnanimous, he's so generous. Just take to one of the 9 processes, hearing, chanting, remembering. Just take. Tate nukum kam shushamag shimano bunjan evatma kritam vikakam. Bhagavatam 10:14a. So there's so much here, but we'll just read a little more and then go on. Here Kunti Devi speaks of Alpurnabhava Darshanam. The prefix means not, and Purnabhava, repetition of birth and death. The real danger is the repetition of birth and death. That must be stopped. So this is a really beautiful, beautiful commentary, which we don't have time to read all of it. But Krishna is calling us. He's telling us, please come, take shelter of me. And then we think, but if the spiritual world is so far away and I'm covered by the modes of ignorance and passion, how can I possibly do that? So Prabhupada says, we should not think that Krishna is living in his abode, Goloka Vrindavan, that his name is different from him. In the material world, of course, in the mere conception, a name is different from the fact it represents. But in the absolute world, there are no differences. The name is as potent as Krishna is. We have a tongue, and if we use the tongue to chant Hare Krishna, we shall immediately come directly in touch with Krishna, because the name Krishna and the person Krishna are non-different. We may think that Krishna is far, far away, but in fact, Krishna is within us. He is far away, but at the same time, he is the nearest. But even if we think that Krishna is far away, his name is present. We can chant Hare Krishna, and Krishna will immediately become available. Krishna is available in this easy way, for there are no hard and fast rules. So Prabhupada goes on to speak about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the importance of chanting the holy name. And Prabhupada is always telling us, don't give up, Just take shelter of Krishna's holy name, take shelter of the devotees of the Lord. Some people, they're on the Anamaya platform, they can take shelter of prasadam, that's the beginning. Somehow or other, come in contact with Krishna. Sanatana Goswami, in his commentary, said, "Now you should not disregard me, protect me completely." He speaks with humility. I am suffering from the experience of sins and samsara for a long time, suffering from lamentation of exhaustion of pious results, or I am suffering from sinful karmas, vigana, and actions of lust at the present moment, anutapahi. This means external and internal suffering. I have no peace at all, but which I have steadiness and happiness. I have attained closeness to your feet directly or in an indescribable manner with revelation of your form without my endeavor. O giver of shelter, you give shelter according to your promise. Artanam Sharanam Tvavaham. I take shelter for the sufferers. Srimad Bhagavatam 11:26-33. You should not say that shelter is dependent on bhakti to you, since you are the inspiration for bhakti. Praman. You give impetus everywhere. You should give according to the glory of your lotus feet at this time and nothing else. His feet are described with this intention. Do not give lamentable liberation or Brahma's abode or yoga's cities, which is subject to fear of time. Your feet give fearlessness, are most proper, and have no lamentation. Protect me who have attained you from danger or from obstacles, since you have compassionate to the miserable. He repeats that he's attained the Lord out of great pain. Only you can do this. Or protect me so I have no fear or no lamentation and have truth. Abhaya asochamritam. You never give anything unpleasant, O dearest one. The Lord as the dearest has been described at the beginning of chapter 14. You must protect the person who is surrendered. Apanam. You should not shame or fear in giving mercy to a low person, O Lord, supremely independent. So Trinadapi Sinechinatarapi Sahishana Amani Damadina Kirtanaya Siddhari. So this is the first step. We have to approach the Lord with humility. Due to my own previous karmas or my actions within this world, I'm forced to suffer. But now I'm coming to you with folded hands, with a straw between my teeth, and begging you, please, give me shelter at your lotus feet. And what does that shelter mean? Please engage me in your service. Because a devotee is not interested in just shantarasa, just give me shelter. But a devotee actually wants service to the Lord. Just here we see he's lamenting and he had so much fear. And then one comes to the point of, like in Bhaktivinoda songs, house, mind, body, whatever I have, Lord, it's yours. They're realizing nothing ever belonged to me anyway. It all belongs to the Supreme Lord. So in this material world, we're turning to Krishna sometimes out of lamentation or out of suffering. But then we can pray, let me turn to Krishna in the mood of joy. Like we see in the pastimes of Lord Krishna. The coward boys, they're crying for Krishna for help. And they know no other shelter but Krishna. They just always turn Krishna, Krishna, save us, save us. And Krishna feels obliged to save his devotees. But it's pastimes. They're not suffering because they're part of the Lord. They're serving the Lord and wanting to please the Lord. And the greatest suffering is the suffering of the residents of Vrindavan, separation. How Mother Yasoda is suffering when Krishna goes to Mathura, how she's feeling so much pain. My Kanai, she becomes very upset with Nanda Baba. You took away Krishna. How could you do this? How did you not bring him back? But this kind of suffering, Vipralamba, the suffering of separation, this is a different kind of suffering. It's not material suffering. And it's actually, Krishna is never separate from the residents of Vrindavan. And they're always just wanting to please Krishna. And the gopis of Vrindavan, they're suffering in the fire of separation, the pain of separation. But that pain is actually the desire just to serve Krishna, to please Krishna. So Krishna consciousness means making this switch from being concerned with my own happiness, my own pleasure, my own little world, and entering into Krishna's world, the big world of Krishna, Krishna's family, turning our head towards Krishna. So, Krishna Surya Sama Maya Aya Antakara. We can turn our head towards Maya, or we can turn our head towards Krishna. And when we turn our head towards Krishna, there's joy and happiness and beauty. So now we have the opportunity to turn our head towards Radha Golokananda and have happiness, joy, and beauty. Thank you very much for listening. This was kind of a last-minute request, so I did my best to share whatever little realizations I have about suffering in this world and taking shelter of Krishna. So 2 points. We take shelter of Krishna through the holy name and through Krishna's representative. And we have to develop humility, because without humility, we can't approach the holy name or the spiritual master. Haribol, Radhe Radhe, all glories to Sri Sri Radha Golokananda Giriraj Ki Jai.
Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobha Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakale Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Divan Dikayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham
Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Damodara Rati Vadana Veshe Hari Niskutta Vrinda Vipineshe Damodara Rati Vadana Veshe Hari Niskutta Vrinda Vipineshe Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Rishabhanu Dadi Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Dadi Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Rishabhanu Dadi Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Dadi Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Karunam Kurumai Karunam Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Vanita Charite Kurumai Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Vanita Charite Karunam Kurmai Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Vanita Charite Kurumai Karuna Bharite Sanaka Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Radhe. Radha Goloka Nanda, Radha Goloka Nanda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham. Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. O Radha, all glories unto you, all glories unto you, beloved of Madhava, object of worship for all the young girls of Gokula. You dress yourself in such a way as to increase Lord Damodar's love and attachment for you. You are the controller of Vrindavan, the pleasure groves of Lord Hari. You are a new moon arisen from the ocean of King Vrishabhanu. You are the friend of Lalita, and your wonderful qualities, friendliness, kindness, and faithfulness to Krishna endear you to Vishaka. You are an ocean of compassion, and your divine characteristics are described by the four Kumaras, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sananda, and Sanat Kumara. O Radha, please be merciful unto me. Haribol, Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai. Jai. Namarjanam Bhava Mahadava.
Pambagavamamapi Dudaivam idrishamiha janina nuraga Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahisnuna Amanina manadena kirtanya sadahari Nadanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadishakamaye Mama jamani jamanishvari bhavata bhakti haituki tvai Ainanda tanuja kinkaram pachitamam vishame bhavam buddho Kripaya tava pada pankaja stitaduli sadrisam vichintaya Nayanangala dasrudaraya vadanangargara rudaya gira Ulakai nichitam vapukada tavanamagrahan bhavishyati Jugaitam nimishena chakshusha pravrisaitam Sunyaitam jaga sarvam govinda virahiname Ahlishyava padaratam pinashtumam Adarshanam mahamahatam karutuva Jata tata va vidata tolam pato ma pranatastu sevana paraha Glory, victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtana movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Oh, my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness, will enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Oh, my Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want the numbers of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. Oh, son of Maharaja Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me one of the atoms at your Lord's feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, filial separation, I may consider a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain. So even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me, he's completely free to do anything and everything, for he's always my worshipful Lord. Unconditionally, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Sri Nityanandaram ki, Radha Golokananda ki. The other one people love it.
Are you going to give out the presentation?
I'm going to give it to, probably here for the little girls.